All right, welcome everyone to today's webinar. Take charge of your program with the free childcare management system. My name is Patrick Mullins and I am with Spark Learning Lab. In today's presentation, we're going to start by explaining what a childcare management system or CCMS is and the benefits of using a CCMS to your program and to the families that you serve. After that, we'll explain the new Indiana State CCMS program and how you can apply. And then we'll hear directly from the vendors and finish off with ways that you can access supports and resources. So with that, we will go ahead and get started. So childcare management systems are specifically designed to help childcare providers like you automate your day-to-day operations so that the staff have more time to spend with children and are able to monitor and manage the program proactively. There are three main areas where CCMS can help you and the families you serve: administrative, family engagement, and learning environment. So we're going to begin by digging into some of those benefits. For administrators, to children, staff, and families, CCMS benefits everyone associated with the child care program. From the program perspective, automation in the administrative area means less time spent on things like bookkeeping, payroll, creating reports, tracking meal counts for the child and adult care food program, and chasing families for payments. With a CCMS, you have the option to set up all of these functions and run them automatically or with the touch of a button. For families, a CCMS improves engagement with your program even before they step foot in the building. Search engine optimization and online enrollment means that families can easily find your program and add themselves to a wait list. Once they've enrolled, which you can also do with a CCMS, your system will provide multiple ways to share special moments that you catch with children throughout the day, as well as important information about your program. For teachers and administrators, CCMS offers multiple ways to enhance the learning environment. Take some of the stress out of compliance with time-stamped check-in and check-outs for child attendance. Automate daily reports, use student-to-teacher ratio tracking, and use preloaded standards to help with lesson planning, all freeing up more time for you to spend interacting with children and helping them learn and grow. Early childhood program budgets, like all budgets, have two sides: the money coming in, which is your income, and the money going out, which is your expenses. Balancing these two sides is essential and is particularly challenging. However, paying close attention to the three sides of the iron triangle is key to sound fiscal management. Rates, enrollment, and fee collection help form the iron triangle of early childhood education finance. Nearly every childcare program that implements CCMS finds their revenues increase as they're more able to easily tap and track every dollar owed. Parents have an immediate, convenient way to pay, and systems are in place to proactively manage this task. At this point, you might be thinking to yourself, that all sounds great, but I don't have anything extra in my budget right now. And that brings us to why we're here today, which is to introduce the Indiana State-sponsored Child Care Management System program. The state of Indiana recognizes how impactful a CCMS can be in building a sustainable business. And to support early child care and learning providers, OECASL, the Office of Early Childhood and Out-of-School Learning, is launching a CCMS program in partnership with Spark Learning Lab to provide free CCMS licenses for 2 years to eligible providers. Using a request for proposal process, the Office of Early Child and Out-of-School Learning has identified 3 CCMS vendors: Alliance Corps, powered by Early Learning Ventures, Brightwheel, and Playground, who will be providing the 2-year free licenses. So to apply for a 2-year free license, you must meet these eligibility criteria. You need to, 1, be a licensed, regulated, or registered childcare provider, or legally licensed exempt childcare provider who is serving CCDF within the state of Indiana. You need to be in good standing with the Office of Early Childhood and Out-of-School Learning and actively serving children. Good standing refers to providers not being in an active repayment status or having a negative action against their license. Please note that if you are a provider who has already subscribed to one of the 3 preferred CCMS vendors, you can convert to the state paid free license for the next 2 years and then lock in special pricing after that. These 3 preferred vendors were selected, like we had said, through a competitive request for proposal process, and the state will not be adding any additional vendors at this time. So the application went live yesterday, April 1st, and will remain open until July 15th, 2024, or as long as funding is available. If your application is approved, your free license will begin when you onboard with your CCMS vendor. The free license period will end 2 years after your license start date. So if your program is eligible, you can apply for a CCMS license by signing into iLead, navigating to the grant portal and selecting the CCMS application title. The portal allows you to seamlessly sign up and select the desired CCMS vendor all at once. Program owners or operators, the program administrator and iLead, are responsible for completing applications, which must be done at the site level. Once in the application, there will be 3 main sections you need to complete. The first is the applicant information, including your name, address, and a primary contact. Second will be your current CCMS user status. Do you currently have a license? You'll be able to check yes or no, and then select which vendor you would like for your free 2-year license. The last piece of the application is agreeing to the terms and conditions, which you can find in the frequently asked questions section on the FSSA website. In applying for and receiving a CCMS license, programs must agree to the terms and conditions of the program, which include maintain status as a regulated, licensed, registered, or legally licensed exempt CCDF provider and remain in good standing with the Office of Early Childhood and Out-of-School Learning. Provide accurate provider information to the best of the grantee's knowledge and promptly notify the Office of Early Childhood and Out-of-School Learning of any changes to the provided information, including the closure of the child care program. Agree to engage Spark Learning Lab for technical assistance and support as needed. Adhere to all licensing and data sharing agreements set forth by the CCMS vendor chosen. Respond to and cooperate with data collection and analysis efforts as requested by the Office of Early Childhood and Out-of-School Learning or Spark Learning Lab, and maintain active use of the CCMS software. Failure to do so may result in the CCMS license being suspended. Finally, a goal of this program is to introduce childcare providers and networks to the advantages of this partnership. Providers and networks are strongly encouraged to continue this partnership with their own investments following the first 2 years. Please be aware that if you choose to continue utilizing a CCMS services made available by the preferred vendor list beyond the initial state-funded 2-year period, you will be solely responsible for required payments. And we will go ahead and put in the chat a link to the FAQ around what your program needs to do to participate. So as we stated earlier, there are 3 different vendors to choose a free license from: Alliance Core, powered by Early Learning Ventures, Brightwheel, and Playground. Because of the request for proposal process, the Office of Early Childhood and Out-of-School Learning is confident in each of these vendors to meet your needs as a child care provider. However, we recognize that your program and preferences are personal and unique. So Spark is offering several resources to help make your choice, including information about each vendor and their features, which you can find on the FSSA website or on mysparklearninglab.com. You will also have opportunities to connect with a business coach, and we will provide that information at the end of the webinar as well. So today we have representatives from each of our vendors here to briefly introduce themselves and their CCMS. Over the next 3 weeks, Spark is going to be hosting webinars with each of these 3 vendors, where they will provide a demo, go over some key features, and answer your questions. Right now, I will turn it over to Alliance Core, powered by Early Learning Ventures, to get us started.
Hi, Patrick. Thank you for that introduction. Hi, everybody. My name is Rawani Romero. I'm the marketing specialist here for Alliance Core, powered by ELV. So what do we usually say about us? We're a highly rated nonprofit focused on the customer experience. So when it comes to our customer experience and our onboarding, we do one-on-one training. We assign you a client support specialist, and we really focus on that one-on-one connection with you. We just don't leave you alone to figure out the system. You have that person that teaches you how to use the system and each part of it. So when it comes to that, our onboarding process is we usually have 4 trainings that kind of guide you on how to use our system. And then if you need more than 4 trainings, it's at your own pace. We understand that everyone learns differently when it comes to learning technology and stuff like that. So it is kind of at your own pace, as well as what support is available for our providers. The big thing we focus on is our customer service and our response. So if you call or email, you will definitely hear a response same day. We also offer office hours for anything. So let's say after your training day with your processing is done, you could definitely still book some office hours with our client support team members. And if it's something we like to say, if it takes you more than 2 minutes to figure it out on our system, just give us a call and we'll be more than happy to help you out there. And then when it comes to highlights and customability, another thing that we're very fortunate enough to offer too is logo and website help. So if that's something that you guys needed during office hours, or you need just help with a logo or website, we can definitely also help with that part. And then our costs here, so the cost after your 2-year free license, our budget is, if you have less than 16 or less, it would be per seat would be $11.25. 17 to 50 license enroll capacity would be at $8.58 per seat. 51 to 100 would be $8 per seat, and then 100 and plus that would be the $9.60 per seat.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Giovanni. So just
Thanks,
as an
Patrick.
example for that, if you serve 25 children, your annual license fee would be $214.50. All right. Thank you so much. So our next vendor is brightwheel. So I would like to introduce them.
Hi, everyone. We are so excited to be here today. My name is Nick Hunt, and I'm the State Partnerships Lead here at brightwheel. I started my time in my career in the classroom as a Head Start teacher, and most recently actually worked at a network of preschools where I was a brightwheel customer before joining the team now to support programs in states like Indiana that are doing amazing partnerships like the one we have with the Office of Early Childhood and Out of School Learning and Spark. So thank you for having us here today, and thank you to those of you taking time out of your busy schedule to hear a little bit more about our platform. We consistently hear from providers across the state of Indiana and beyond that using a platform like brightwheel and having childcare management software streamlines their business, makes it easier for them to manage everything from communication to getting paperwork completed to setting up customized billing plans all in one place. And part of what makes that process so easy is the way that we work with childcare directors and providers to ensure that we get you all the support you need to set up and use your account every single step of the way. So today we've been asked to talk a little bit about what that actually looks like. And any provider who is new to brightwheel and includes us on their iLead application will immediately be assigned a specialist from our state partnerships team. Your specialist will be able to work with you to schedule a one-on-one demo to go over all of those amazing features that are in brightwheel and really help you understand more about the platform and answer any program-specific questions that you may have. We know that every single program is unique. There's different ways that you may manage your business. And so your specialist is really there to serve as the introduction to make sure that whether you're switching from technology you already use, or this is your first time kind of jumping into the technology pool, you feel comfortable and ready to move forward with our software. And when you meet with your specialist and get that first tour of brightwheel and its tools, they will be able to help create your account with you on the spot so that you can log in for the first time, follow our really easy getting started guide, and even start to do things like add a student or invite a family. And this is why providers say that it's so easy to get started, because someone's with you every step of the way. And then following that initial demo with your specialist, you'll be assigned an onboarding coach, and your coach will really guide you through all of the key steps that are needed to make sure that you're comfortable using that brightwheel platform. adding students, inviting families, configuring your settings. If you're new to technology like brightwheel, your coach is really your resource until you've finished activating your account, and they're not going anywhere until setup is complete. So you're not just going to have one time with them and then be left to figure things out. They're going to be able to move forward with you in whatever way works for your schedule, whether that's attending one session and giving you everything you need, or breaking it down into measurable chunks to make sure that you really feel like you know exactly how to use the platform. In addition, for those of you who decide to use features like the billing or admissions tool that are available in brightwheel, your onboarding coach will set up that additional time to make sure that you get everything you need to make sure that you're comfortable with the platform, setting up things like customized or automatic billing plans or enrollment paperwork that allows parents to fill everything out online. We know that some providers like to jump into everything all at once, and others like to take steps based on their comfort level, which is why we really want to make sure that we're meeting you where you are and what that skill level is. And then the last thing I just want to highlight is that once you're cruising with brightwheel, you've had your onboarding coach and you're ready to go, there's a number of different ways that you can continue getting support from us throughout your time as a brightwheel customer. Anybody who's using brightwheel, whether it's on their computer, a tablet, or their cell phone, has access to a chat box that's right there in the platform for them that connects them directly to a member of our support team. So I know those of us who have typed into those chat boxes before always find ourselves wondering, is this a robot? I can confidently tell you it's a real person. I have met them, they exist, and they're there to make sure that your questions get directed to the exact right team, whether that's something as simple as resetting a password or getting you in touch with someone on billing for some of those really immediate needs that you might have. That same support team is also available to family members and caregivers of your students. So if they're using the brightwheel app, they can also get that support right away from our team and make sure that they're really comfortable using brightwheel as well. And then on top of that live chat, if you have a question outside of those hours, you can send an email to our support team, or you can also visit our support hub where we have a number of videos and articles that you can follow along that are really great for making sure that you know exactly how to use the platform. And also anybody who signs up for brightwheel through the partnership in Indiana is going to have access to a platform that we call brightwheel Academy, which is an online set of courses that you can use to refresh your memory if you want to go back and get retrained on how to use brightwheel. Or what we oftentimes hear from folks is that if you're getting a new admin or a new director, or you want to train your teachers, that brightwheel Academy is a great place for them to go to log in, and you can keep track of the different courses that they take, whether they were part of your onboarding or process or not. And so I know I covered a lot of the different ways that we try to bring that support to you, but that's specifically because all of these tools have been created with providers in mind, and we really take your feedback seriously. Brightwheel is always updating and coming out with new ways that we can support you based on the ideas and suggestions that we get from providers, just like the ones who I know are on this call. And we can go ahead to the next slide. Brightwheel has a pretty comprehensive pricing structure that's based off the number of families and students that you serve. So what I just want to name here is that what you see on the screen is a really helpful quote for the guaranteed price that we've worked with Indiana to set for providers. And you can determine if you want to pay that on a monthly or an annual basis. However, we also are willing to work with programs to determine what makes the most sense for them and make sure that after the 2 years of using Brightwheel that you've had and you've seen the value of, you're able to walk away really feeling like the cost is attainable for you when those 2 years are done. So if you do select Brightwheel through OEC OSL, you will have an opportunity to meet with a member of our subscriptions team before that 2-year period ends. And in that meeting, you'll have a chance to discuss with them what makes the most sense for your program so that we can support you to your transition to continuing to be a Brightwheel premium customer. So again, if you have any questions, you can always set up time with one of our specialists, or you can also reach out to us at indiana@mybrightwheel.com, which I'm sure will be shared out with folks after this, but that's our kind of Indiana hotline for any Brightwheel specific questions that you may have. So thank you again for your time today, and looking forward to working with so many of you.
Perfect. Thank you, Nick. And finally, that brings us to our third vendor, which is Playground.
Awesome. Very happy to be here. And yeah, like Nick said, we're just so excited to be part of this program for us as part of Playground. And I just wanted to introduce Playground to those who may not be as familiar. We are a childcare management software, like you have heard, and we are definitely newer in the space. We're around 5 years old, and with that, we have a bunch of new features and functionality that is new in the market. We would like to say in terms of what people have said about us, a bunch of features. We're consistently launching new things. Just to give you some backstory on Playground, it was launched as a solution for a mom who had a childcare program in Los Angeles. She was having trouble with everything that she was using. She was using multiple softwares to manage her program. And so we brought it all together into one. And that was where Playground was born. And we continue to iterate, continue to build. And we're really, focused on customer support and onboarding to make sure you're trained to be successful with Playground. So when you start using Playground, you'll also have a dedicated onboarding and customer success point of contact who will help you get set up from day one, getting your students in, getting your families invited, getting you set up for success on Playground. And they'll be your point of contact for any questions. You'll have their email, phone number. You can also get in touch with them over live chat immediately. So our average response rate is less than a minute for live chat. Whenever you reach out to us, we're happy to answer you, get on a Zoom call to problem solve anything you may have, and really give you that customer support you need to get the help, because we know as providers, your days are busy, they might be hectic. We don't want you waiting hours to receive feedback on what you can or cannot do with our product. And so like this slide says, we are very feature rich. We continue to release a bunch of features. Just last week, we released the mileage tracking. 2 weeks before that, we released payroll. We're continuing to iterate every single week, every single month, launching new features. And we're really excited to continue doing that based off of your feedback. So anytime you have something we may not offer, let us know, and we're happy to make it happen for you. Like the second point says, powerful, not overwhelming. Our interface is very simple to use, but despite being simple, it has much of the complex functionality you need to run your program as you wish. So you can set up billing however you would like. You can set up your enrollment however you'd like. All your paperwork is digital. Everything you need is in Playground to really be that one software to manage your program. And we're continuing to launch plenty of features every single week. I think this year, we're just hitting April. We've done over 182 product releases and changes over the course of the year, with a couple major updates into Playground. And we serve everyone from family childcare providers all the way up to multi-site locations. You can manage anything from 8 children in your program all the way up to 5 sites with 150 across per site, and you're able to do a bunch of very powerful reporting for your location or for multi-sites as well. And this is an app, a website, tablet for yourself, your staff, and your families. And in terms of making sure you're set up for success, you're going to have, like I said, that dedicated onboarding manager. We also have a learning platform for any time you have a question of, how do I do this on enrollment, or how do I do this on my billing, or what's the best way to send out newsletters? That is all easily walked through at your own speed with videos, text walkthroughs, everything you need to make sure you really understand the product. And the ultimate goal here, like Patrick said at the beginning, is take time out of your admin work and help you reduce and automate your work so that you can spend more time on what really you as childcare providers can do, which is providing quality care for children. So Patrick, yeah, if you want to go to the next slide, wonderful. In terms of pricing, this slide says it all. As you increase your license capacity, the price goes down per seat. We definitely do acknowledge that we are one of the more expensive players in the game, and we like to think of that because we offer a bunch of functionality, and it really avoids you having to use multiple softwares to manage your program. You're able to do that with just one. And so that, higher price comes at the benefit of plenty of functionality, very complex, especially for larger programs, very complex reporting, very complex management functionality. You can have all your staff do your payroll and everything directly through Playground. And, like Patrick said, these are the pricing plans that we have offering. And any questions that anyone may have, they're always welcome to reach out. And yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. Yes, thank you, Giovanni, Nick, and Benny. We appreciate you being able to join us and share out a little bit about the services that you're able to offer through your product. And I know that we look forward to the deeper dives that we'll have coming up here throughout the month. So thank you very much for that. If you are interested in learning more, please make sure you visit the resources that we shared through those links in the chat. The Child Care Management System program website has convenient overviews of all of the different vendors, as well as a comparison tool that you'll be able to use to make sure that you are making the best choice for yourself and your program. So next steps after you submit your application, Spark will be reaching out within 1 to 2 business days via email to provide resources to support you on your CCMS journey. Additionally, Spark coaches will be available to answer any questions and provide ongoing support during the post-application process. Within 1 week of submission, you'll be contacted by your selected CCMS vendor to begin the onboarding process. The process will be different for each vendor as they all laid out, but typically takes about 1 to 4 weeks to complete that initial process. At that point, your CCMS license and access will be provided, and you can begin using your CCMS in your program. If you have any CCMS needs after your onboarding process, you have the option to reach out to Spark Learning Lab or your CCMS vendor for technical assistance. And over the next 2 slides, we'll talk a little bit more about what that means. So the Office of Early Childhood Out of School Learning has partnered with Spark Learning Lab to provide support and technical assistance. You can reach out anytime before, during, or after the application process to learn more about the CCMS program, get help selecting a vendor, or help with submitting your application. Or if you need further CCMS resources or business coaching, you can contact Spark Learning Lab by calling 1-800-299-1627 or by emailing businesssupport@indianaspark.com. And we will leave that contact information on the last side, along with a QR code that you can scan to connect with technical assistance and support. Additionally, an extensive frequently asked questions list is available online and will be routinely updated to reflect any new questions or new trends that we see for providers. So as each of the vendors mentioned, they all offer substantial technical assistance to guide you through the onboarding process and answer any day-to-day questions you may have while using their childcare management system. So support ranges from phone support, blogs, articles, how-to videos, support communities, and so much more. And these are truly valued partners who are invested in your success with their platforms. They want to make sure that you are getting exactly what you're looking for out of your subscription. So at this time, feel free to either come off mute and ask your questions about the CCMS program. Please keep in mind that our vendors are not taking questions today. They will be able to drop their contact information in the chat at the end here, but there will be those webinars specifically for each of our vendors to be able to get a little bit more in depth and ask those questions. And as I'm sure you're all used to from seeing this, a lot of times those webinars answer the questions you may have had. Yes, feel free to answer any questions specifically about the CCMS program. And Angela, I see that you asked, what if you are already a part of brightwheel? Within the application process, you will be able to select that you are currently using a CCMS. You will be able to select brightwheel as that current user, and then again for this. And so what will happen is they will reach out and be able to get that billing set up from your organization to the state funding, and you will have no hiccups. There will be no change in service, and that is the same for Alliance Corps powered by Early Learning Ventures. That is the same for Playground. We have made sure that there's a continuity of care and service throughout this entire process. The next question is there a timeline for CCDF integration? There is not at this point, but I know that that is a topic that is on the minds and hearts of a lot of our providers. So as there are more updates available around that, we will be sure to share those out in partnership with the Office of Early Childhood and Out of School Learning. But we know that that is something that a lot of providers are very interested in. So sorry, I don't have a better answer. But more to come. We'll have to work for now, unfortunately. Will the slides be available after the call? Yes, we will have these recorded and available both on my Spark Learning Lab as well as the CCMS website for availability. This will happen. They will be available here at the end of the week. We do have one in Spanish on Thursday. And so once both of those are done, we're going to make sure that they're uploaded together. If you participate, are you locked into their fee pricing for 2 additional years? At the end of the 2 years, you have the opportunity to stop using that product if you choose to. What we here at Spark Learning Lab, as well as the Office of Early Childhood and Out-of-School Learning, believe is that after you start using it, you'll start to see some of those cost benefits, both in time as well as programming, that you'll see will far outweigh whatever costs you may incur. So you are not required to use it beyond the free 2-year, but that pricing will still be available to you if you choose to. And then Allison asked, if we choose one now, can we choose a different one in 2 years if we want to make a change? Yes, if you decide to make a change at the end of the 2 years, that will be an option. There will still be support to make sure that you are getting the best information and making the right choice for your program. And we will be more than happy to work with you at that point in time.
I have a question that came in via the chat. Since we're nearing the end of the school year, can we onboard with a vendor over the summer and then have 2 full years through May of 2025 at no cost?
Yeah, absolutely. If you, again, the application is set to close July 15th, 2024, or once funds are extinguished. So there will be updates as we get closer to that point. But if you do choose to wait until later in the application process, that is no problem. Again, we will make sure that there are updates as far as if we're getting close to that point so that you don't find yourself outside of this opportunity. He asked if we have 2 licensed homes, do both homes get a subscription? Yes. You will subscribe per license, whether you have multiple homes, multiple centers, whatever that may be, and each one will have an individual subscription. Any other questions for the chat, or again, feel free to come off mute if you would prefer. All right, perfect. Again, if you have any questions that you may think of later, feel free to email businesssupport@indianaspark.com or give us a call at 1-800-299-1627, and we will be more than happy to go ahead and answer those questions. But if there are no other questions, thank you all for joining us. Thank you again, Giovanni, Nick, and Benny, for joining us. We greatly appreciate it. And again, we look forward to all of the great things that our Indiana providers will be able to accomplish thanks to these vendors. And we look forward to more to come. Thank you, everybody. Have a great